Wam Yasharala Shalawam, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shah, Bahasham Rachak Wadash, double honors to the apostles who are the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the whole lit. All right, we're going to get into a little quick lesson. Pretty sure you see the title, The Prophets Know of the Prophets, okay, which is kind of a working title. I might go with that one because I had another way I wanted to word it, but we'll see. Because I'm probably gonna, by the time I record this, it's probably gonna be that same title, The Prophets Know the Prophets, unless I change it. But we're gonna start with this word real quick: foreshadowing or foreshadow.
Foreshadow.
All right, and it says, be a warning or indication. All right, of future, indication of a future event. All right, and this is no different from what all prophets of all ages. I don't mean age as in how old you are. I mean different time periods, different eras. Okay, prophets right here now in real time, prophets of old and the prophets of the ancient days. Okay, and what I'm getting at is the prophets not only knew of each other, but they also quoted one another. And this is the same thing that we're doing now in these final days. We're quoting the prophets of old, just like the prophets of old quoted the prophets of the ancient time periods. Okay, so just to get you in the mindset of why I have this pulled up, we read one more time. Foreshadow, it says, be a warning or indication of a future event. Okay, so let's go on, jump over here, get to where we want to get to. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 14, and we're gonna grab verse 32. All right, and it reads, and the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. Okay, which is a major hint at reincarnation. Okay, and the prophets are set up to do what? To be the mouthpieces of the Lord. We are, pretty much messengers. All right, Elohim. All right, angels in this flesh. We are gods with little g. Okay, and we have been set up. The prophets have been set up to do one thing, is to prophesy. All right, being prophesying or prophecy, however you want to say it. It basically means to say before. Okay, they are speaking these things into existence. All right, throughout time. Okay, by being once again the voice of the Lord. All right, in this earth. Okay. He says, and the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. And speaking on what we were just speaking about, reincarnation, it shows you that prophets of old have come back in these latter days, okay? Because you will be that same spirit, whoever you were, that prophet were, all right, in some other previous life. That same spirit, once it passes away from the earth, all right, it goes back to the Lord, and the Lord will reincarnate you into a different body. Same spirit, different body. All right, prophets of old. Okay, all right, so let's continue, and we're gonna grab, I guess we'll just go through, and they're not really in order, just pulling out I guess I guess you can call them examples or whatever. Well, this first one is kind of I think I kind of messed up this first one, but we're gonna grab it anyways, which is in Matthew chapter 2, verse 15. It says, and was there, all right, we start at 14. It says, when he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt. Okay, wait just a second. This bug here. I don't like killing bugs, but hey, sometimes you're in the wrong place. Sorry about that. It says, when he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet. All right, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet. All right, the Lord, the words that the prophets speak are the words of the Lord. Okay, they are not there on their own accord. They do not speak their own words. They do not feed you from their belly what they think or whatever, so on and so forth. Okay, it says, and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, out of Egypt have I called my son. Okay, and let's grab it real quick. We should be going through these fairly quickly, because it's not really an explanation thing, it's just pointing out. All right, this is Hosea 11:1 says, when Israel was a child, then I loved him and called my son out of Egypt. Now, once again, I might be slightly off on this one, but like I said, because I had it, I'll read it anyways. But That is what it is. Let's continue on. Which most of these are from the book of Matthew. Which these are not the only ones. I'm pretty sure there's tons of ones that I missed. Probably ones that you know of that I missed, but it wasn't for me to cover all of them. All right, just like I said, just grabbing some examples here and there. All right, this is Matthew 24. What verse am I looking for? Let me see here, 15. I'm trying to see. We just grab 15. I was gonna start at 14. We just grab 15. Okay. All right, so it says, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. All right, and you see what it says. It was spoken of by Daniel the prophet, okay? And so we're going to grab that when we jump over here to where it is right here. Daniel chapter 12. All right. And we want to grab verse 11. And it says, and from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. All right. This is basically, once again, another prophet quoting another prophet. All right. Prophet that came before them. Okay. Because prophets do what? They prophesy. Okay. And so if a prophet spoke a certain thing, that thing was to be fulfilled. And even Yahweh Shah himself talked about this maybe a couple times, all right? Fulfilling a certain thing that was spoken of in the scriptures, all right? So let's continue on. Just keep it moving. Going to go to Matthew 27. Going to get verse 9 and 10. And it reads, then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy, which is Jeremiah, the prophet, saying, and they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him that was valued, whom they of the children of Israel did value, and gave them for the potter's field, as the Lord appointed me. Now, this one was kind of tricky when I read over it, because it's actually not found in the books of Jeremiah. It's actually found here in Zechariah, not 12. Let me back up real quick. Zechariah, the 11th chapter, what we just read, okay? And right down here, verse 12 and 13, it says, and I said unto them, if ye think good, give me my price, and if not, forbear. So they weighed for my price 30 pieces of silver. And the Lord Yahweh said unto me, cast it unto the potter, a goodly price that I was prized at of them. And I took the 30 pieces of silver and cast them to the potter in the house of the Lord Yahweh. All right, so you see, once again, more words that are being fulfilled from ancient times. And this is what the prophecies are about. All right. Not all prophecies have been fulfilled yet. Okay. Sometimes a prophecy is spoken of way back in ancient times, and it's not going to be fulfilled until the time period we're living in now. All right. Then there's prophecies that were spoken back in the ancient days that have already come and been fulfilled. Okay. But that's what prophecies are, to say before, to tell of these events. And so like the scriptures say, then shall you know that a prophet had been among you, because that's what the prophets do. They tell you of future events. All right, there's no other plainer way to say it. That they tell you of future events through the spirit and power of the Heavenly Father Yahweh. Okay, so let's go and grab our next one. Just got a couple more. Matthew 13, like I said, there's probably tons of ones I'm missing, but it's not, grab a scripture contest. All right, Matthew 13, and I don't want to pass it. Here we go. Matthew 13 and 34. It says, all these things spake Yahushua unto the multitude in parables, and without a parable spake he not unto them, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet, saying, I will open my mouth in parables, I will utter things which have been kept secret from the foundation of the world. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is going to jump over to here it is, Psalms 78th chapter. All right, and we're going to get verses 2 through 4. It says, I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. We would not hide them from their children, showing to the generation to come the praises of the Lord Yahweh and his strength and his wonderful works that he had done. All right, and this was Daniel that spoke these words. These songs are written by Daniel. If I'm correct, maybe not. But anyways, what's my next verse here? This is a very good one here. I'm gonna go to Joel. That was another one that I had to. I lost. I don't know what happened to it, but it's okay. Like I said, it's not a contest or whatever. Just making a point. All right, Joel. Very, very clear and straightforward with this one. All right, Joel chapter 2. All right, the promise of the Spirit. Joel chapter 2, verse 28. And it says, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. Okay, similar to what is said in Ezekiel, the 39th chapter, verse 29. But it specifically in Ezekiel says that he's going to pour out his spirit on the house of Israel. This is a different, because this is talking about, everyone in this world. Basically, the Lord is going to put everyone in their lots in these latter days. All right, put them in that right spirit that they should be in for these latter days. Okay, it says, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. Okay. And verse 29 says, and also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. Okay. In fact, I guess we'll read the rest of this as well. It says, and I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood for the great and terrible day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance. And the Lord had said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call. All right, that remnant, hopeful elect. Okay, but this is what we're harping on right here. Joel chapter 2, verse 28 and verse 29. We'll read one more time. It says, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions, and also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. And so now we're going to jump over to the book of Acts chapter 2. All right, and we're going to go right down to verse 16. And it reads, but this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel. All right. And it shall come to pass in the last days, said the power, I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. And this is the most straightforward repeated prophecy. All right. It's almost word for word. It says, and on my servants and on my handmaidens I will pour out in those days of my spirit, and they shall prophesy. It says, and I will show wonders in heaven above and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before that great and notable day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. All right, and then it's continuing on to something else. All right, but we'll read verse 22 as well. It says, ye men of Israel, hear these words. Yahushua of Nazareth, the man approved of God among you by miracles and wonders and signs, which God did by him in the midst of you, as ye yourselves also know. You see, the prophets have always known of the prophets, and the prophets have always quoted the prophets, because the prophets do what? They prophesy. So if a prophet prophesied of old time, and that thing would eventually come to pass. And if he did not, if it didn't come to pass, that means that it's not time yet, but it will come to pass, okay? Because once again, can't say it enough, the prophets do what? They prophesy. Prophets of old have said many things, and there have been prophets that come along after them who have repeated those words, because it was to still come to pass, or it had already come to pass. Kind of like because there was another one, I didn't grab this one, but Yahushua riding in on that donkey, right? I believe that was spoken of. I can't remember. Was it as a matter of fact, I believe it's what I'm speaking on. I believe brother went into this. He did a little short lesson on this the other day. Servant of Yahushua. I think it's servant or soldier. If I'm wrong, Salakia. Servant or soldier of Yahushua, Mashiach Arazaka. He did a little quick lesson on those verses about what I'm speaking on, Yahushua riding on a donkey, which led back to the prophet Zechariah, if I was correct. But like I said, I don't have no just mentioning, like, and I also said it before, like, there's many other verses. It's just like this, prophets quoting prophets of old. All right, this is what they do. All right, they may have written books of their own, which are compiled in the Bible, but there's times where if when you're reading into it, you notice that they have quoted a prophet of old. All right, which is similar to Apostle Ramlav's lesson, that the Church of Berea, right? They hear something, they go back and research it. It's similar. Now, I'm not saying it's the exact same thing, but it's similar if you get what I'm saying. All right, a prophet, in order for a prophet to quote word for word, like we just read in Acts 2, that was the closest word for word, right? That means they had to have known of that prophet of old. And in some cases, they may have been that very same prophet, quoting the same words. But point being, the prophets of these days, today, in real time, know the prophets of old, and the prophets of old know the prophets of ancient time. All right, and when we all, or never, no, we are actually, that'd be wrong to say we all quote one another, but we all in these modern days quote the prophets of old, and the prophets of old quoted the prophets of ancient times. If you get what I'm saying, all right, because that's pretty much straightforward, about as simple as basically as I can explain that one. All right, so let's go and just wrap this up because we don't really have to hang on here. Because we got 1 Corinthians 14:32, that the spirit of the prophets is subject to the prophets. This is Amos chapter 3, verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord hath not done it? Surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. All right. And this is why the prophets have been set up to speak things into existence. And that's why we constantly speaking on the downfall of this wicked nation and this rulership, the downfall of all these heathen nations, really, but chiefly America, Esau, Edom, and so on and so forth. But we also, most importantly, are speaking, life into existence, meaning that eternal life. All right, the kingdom of heaven, salvation, all those things. All right. Like Yahushua says, I come quickly and my rewards are with me, okay? And that's what we're waiting on, the times of refreshing that should come from the Lord, which I just quoted. Yeah, you see, there you go. Just quoted Revelation 22:12 and and Acts 3:19. So there you have it. You see, we're going to end it just like that. So Lord willing, you edify to next time. Yahshua, I'm going to say shalom.